century, the helicopter has been the undisputed king of the low-altitude battlefield. It revolutionized mobility in Vietnam, dominated tanks in the Gulf War, and has been the backbone of American ground power ever since. But the crown is slipping. In a series of stunning moves, the U.S. Army has slashed its helicopter procurement and abruptly canceled billions of dollars in next-generation rotorcraft programs. They are pivoting hard, away from manned machines and towards a future dominated by unmanned systems. This isn't just a budget cut. It's a fundamental admission that the rules of war have changed. From the killing fields of Ukraine to the halls of the Pentagon, the consensus is growing. The age of the low-altitude overlord may be over. So why is the Army walking away from its next super helicopter? What are the brutal lessons from Ukraine driving this decision? And are we witnessing the extinction of the manned combat helicopter? To understand the magnitude of this shift, we have to look at what was lost. For nearly 6 years, the U.S. Army had been pouring money and effort into the Future Attack Reconnaissance Aircraft program. It was designed to replace the retired OH-58 Kiowa Warrior, a light, fast, agile scout that could sneak into enemy territory, spot targets, and destroy them. The competition was fierce, with Bell and Sikorsky building advanced prototypes. The Army had already spent nearly $2.4 billion on development. Production was slated for 2028, and then in February 2024, the Army killed it. Just like that. Why? According to official testimony, FARA failed on 3 counts. The platform simply didn't fit the new requirements for high-intensity conflict. The battlefield had become too dangerous for a manned scout helicopter, and unmanned systems could do the job cheaper, safer, and better. The Army stated bluntly in March 2024 that the war in Ukraine and conflicts in the Middle East demonstrated that aerial reconnaissance can be performed by a combination of unmanned and space-based assets. In other words, why spend $50 million on a helicopter and risk 2 highly trained pilots to find a tank when you can do it with a $50,000 drone swarm? The catalyst for this decision is thousands of miles away on the front lines of Ukraine. This war has been the most brutal testing ground for modern air power in decades, and for helicopters, the results have been devastating. According to independent open-source analysis, as of late 2024, Russia has lost at least 144 helicopters out of an initial deployed force of around 600. That is a staggering 24% attrition rate. The losses include over 60 Ka-52 Alligator attack helicopters, Russia's most advanced platform. What is killing them? It's not just traditional surface-to-air missiles, it's the sheer density of the threat environment. Helicopters are being forced to fly aggressively low, hugging the terrain to avoid long-range radar, which puts them right into the teeth of man-pads and increasingly drones. In November 2024, Ukrainian Special Operations released historic footage of a fixed-wing kamikaze drone hunting down and striking a Russian helicopter in midair, nearly 200 kilometers behind the front lines. This is a game-changer. Helicopters are no longer safe even in their own rear areas. Their airfields are being pounded by long-range drone strikes, and their operational airspace is being squeezed into non-existence. The U.S. Army looked at this data and realized a terrifying truth. In a war against a peer adversary like China, a manned scout helicopter trying to sneak behind enemy lines would be a suicide mission. So what is the new plan? The Army calls it aviation investment rebalancing. It's a polite way of saying, stop buying new manned helicopters and buy everything else. The strategy has 3 pillars. Stop developing new manned scout helicopters. Instead of buying new platforms, invest the saved money into upgrading the existing fleet, the Black Hawks and Chinooks, to keep them relevant. Invest heavily in unmanned aerial systems. The Pentagon has announced plans to field massive numbers of autonomous systems, up to 1 million drones by 2028. This is the Replicator initiative on steroids. The logic is simple: mass over capability. A swarm of cheap, expendable drones is harder to kill and more cost-effective than a single, exquisite helicopter. We are seeing a shift where the scout mission is being completely handed over to robots. The Army wants to use launched effects, small drones launched from larger aircraft or ground vehicles, to penetrate enemy air defenses, locate targets, and jam radars, while the manned helicopters hang back in relative safety. Does this mean the attack helicopter is dead? Not quite. But its job description is changing dramatically. It is no longer the frontline brawler. It is becoming the tactical quarterback. Manned helicopters like the Apache are adapting by extending their reach, long-range fires. The Apache is now fielding the Israeli-made Spike NLOS non-line-of-sight missile. While traditional Hellfire missiles have a range of about 8 to 10 kilometers, the Spike can hit targets 32 kilometers away. This allows the Apache to stand off outside the range of most enemy air defenses and pick off targets designated by forward-deployed drones. Manned-unmanned teaming. This is the Holy Grail. The helicopter becomes a flying command post. The pilots in the Apache aren't just flying their own bird. They are controlling a team of drones operating miles ahead of them. The drones take the risks, find the targets, and laser designate them. The Apache simply pulls the trigger from the shadows. This concept isn't new. Boeing demonstrated it in 2006, but Ukraine has made it a survival necessity. The helicopter keeps its unique ability to move troops and provide heavy fire support, but it outsources the dangerous work of finding and fixing the enemy to the robots. Even the holy grail of vertical lift, logistics, and troop transport is being infiltrated by automation. In October 2024, Sikorsky unveiled a fully autonomous version of the Black Hawk helicopter. This machine can fly nearly 3,000 kilometers without a pilot, carry 4 tons of cargo, and even launch its own swarm of reconnaissance drones. Why does this matter? Because logistics is dangerous. In a high-intensity conflict, resupplying forward bases means flying slow, fat cargo helicopters through contested airspace. If you can do that with a robot, you save lives. We are moving toward a future where casualty evacuation and ammo runs are handled by autonomous Black Hawks, freeing up human pilots for the most complex tactical missions. So, is the helicopter dead? No, but the low-altitude overlord of the past is gone. The helicopter is following the same evolutionary path as the battleship. The battleship didn't disappear because it was weak. It disappeared because the aircraft carrier could do the job better and from further away. Today, the helicopter is being forced to evolve or perish in the face of the drone revolution. The U.S. Army's cancellation of FARA is the first major casualty of this new reality. It is a bold, risky, and necessary pivot. They are betting that the future belongs not to the best pilot, but to the best network of sensors and shooters. The helicopter will remain a vital tool for moving soldiers and providing heavy firepower, but it will never again rule the skies alone. It must learn to coexist, coordinate, and hide behind the swarm, because on the modern battlefield, if you can be seen, you can be killed. And the drones see everything.